talking about the best-selling cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh. Is this the exact same? Feels like it was the exact same. The Nadir Servant is new. Alright, it has been a minute. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I've ever looked at the Dogmatica stuff on the penny stock or on the regular market watch. I don't think I've ever done that. Goodness gracious. I am all over the map here. Here we go. So this card has seen its ups and it has seen its downs. Right now it's on its up. I would watch out for FOMO. At the very least, even if this is a really, really good card right now to get, and it probably is, Fallen of Allbass. It's a Fallen of Allbass Searcher, and Dogmatica is still a decent package. It's still going to go back down, even if it's a slight correction, right? It's still going to go back down in price. But if we take a look at just all the Dogmatica stuff, where stuff looks in relation to its market price. Okay, I didn't realize there was this much. Did you know that there was this much? Like seriously, be real. Did you know that Dogmatica add-in the Enlightened was a card? Yeah, card caught astray. Let's look at the main Dogmatica stuff though. Like the stuff that people run. So this is about, this is a penny stock, literally. And it's a 2500 beat stick. It's a free negate. It has decent attack boost. It's not terrible, right? Ecclesia is really good. Being able to search, obviously, any Dogmatica card is really solid. The main cards, though, Maximus is straight too. We're not going to look at Maximus, though. What is this? What is this? This is a level 12 monster? Goodness gracious. Okay, I'll look at that in my own time. But really the main stuff that this gets ran for is Dogmatica Punishment. And it is still a nice package where you run, like, Ecclesia, Punishment, Nadir Servant, which is what brought us here. And you run just some interesting stuff in your extra deck. There is, I'm just having a tough time remembering. It's like the level 5 that pops if it's sent to the graveyard. I don't know if it's even going to be down here because it's like the main target for it. If I can get scrolls, I just saw Elder Entis. Yeah, like that. Like this is still really, really good. Like this whole package is still really, really good. Now is not the best time to buy, obviously. Like this is actually the worst time to buy. I do think there will be a market correction. I do think it will go down, but I don't think that it's super crazy that these cards are super expensive. Like I don't think that. Like these are really, this is a really good engine. It hasn't really been checked that hard by Konami. And for decks that are more roguish, more stunish, it makes sense. And it makes sense that this one is now up in value. If I had to pick between which of the two, like if you're like, well, I'm going to buy some Nadir Servants, I'm going to get into the FOMO, I would just do that. But I would just wait. I genuinely, I think it's just better just to wait for there to be a slight market correction. I'm not saying it's going to go back down to where it was 3 months ago, but I am saying that there is going to be a slight market correction. And when it does that, that's probably when the best time is going to be to capitalize on that. Let's talk about Fenrir a lot. I've just been kind of checking it. It feels like every week to see where it's at. It's like a week ago. It's starting to flatline a little bit. It's looking like it won't go under 20 unless it's definitely on the ban list. So that is very interesting. Not too many changes though, so we're just going to go to the second page. Ancient Gear Ballista. Yeah, don't know how that has one printing. I would sell these as soon as possible. Like, obviously, if you're running 6 Heavy Samurai, keep it. But I would sell these as soon as possible because when something like this happens, Like, this card's going to get a random reprint that's going to completely destroy its value. So I'd sell those as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're going to run six, Super Heavy Samurai and you only have one, keep it. But if you have multiples for whatever reason, and you don't need them, I would sell them now because they're not. This is the highest it's ever going to be. Pressure Planets now 20s. Ulti Ogres. This is wild. This is a wild looking chart here. Get Koreans for $20. Wow. Okay, so where's the first English one? $250 for Ulti Ogres. I was talking about this when I was talking about the penny stock market watch. And I think that was the first hand trap we saw, right? Yeah. This is kind of a hand trap. Not really, though. Yeah, that was the first hand trap. So, hand traps are... I mean, they never left, but they are back. Obviously, in today's Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, more and more decks are, like, small piece of an engine and then just 15 hand traps. But the decks that are like Pearly, Super Heavy Samurai, if Sprite's able to hang around, they can run a lot of hand traps and still be fine, right? So I kind of talked about this on the penny stock market watch, but we've talked about the lower end hand traps a lot. Now, I will say about Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, I did mention this card on the ban list discussion, and I haven't heard anybody have that conversation about this card. I don't think anybody truly thinks this card is bannable, but it is just so overused. It is in so many decks all the time. Like, if you see a deck profile of mine since this card came out, this card's probably in it. And so I just think that it could get hit on the ban list. If it doesn't, I don't see anything else that's going to change this card's value. This card just got 2 structure deck reprints back to back this year. That's just not going to happen again. There's just no reason for it at this point. It would be nice because the cheapest version of Ash Blossom appears to be $325, which is kind of crazy for a card with 10 printings. But the most expensive version is 10. No, this is more. Yeah, okay, I see what's going on. The Koreans are messing it up. So this is about 20. This is the most expensive version. Okay, so this is still 35. That's insane. That's crazy. Wow, that is crazy. That is completely different. They really got to... I don't know. I just feel like they need to do something better with that, but it's okay because that's why it shows the market price. I mean, I guess that one's 35. The next most expensive one, Maximum Gold. I like the Dual Devastator version better, but the Maximum Gold Ash looks really cool too. Okay, so this is about $8. Across the board, it just seems like hand traps are more expensive now. And Ash Blossom, I could see Ash Blossom actually getting a rarity upgrade. I don't think there's any ulti Ashes, right? Because this version of Effect Veiler, like this version of Effect Veiler has always been super expensive for what Effect Veiler does. Like, I mean, I will say, like, damage unlimited, like for $70. I don't know what that looks like, but might be able to run the risk, see what it looks like, see what happens. We are really struggling. Let's just go right to near mints because I didn't realize it is really far back. So we're looking at about $200 for ulti Effect Veilers. Goodness gracious. And the wild part is, I don't know if it's a bad buy. You know, and I always say, like, spend your money how you feel. No card is worth what it says on TCG Player. every card is worth what you can sell it for. But you spend $600 on this playset and then flip it, sell them all for $250. You make $150. Like, it just seems pretty simple, because these, the people who are running these cards, and that's the interesting thing. Like, usually, in my experience, the casual player base will get like this version of Effect Veiler, or even I think I have 2 commons of Effect Veiler. But I think this version of Effect Veiler. That's a lot of times for me personally. That's what I'll do. Like, I will get like a nice rarity bump, like the premium gold, spend $15 on the nice, or this dual Devastator version for like $5 each, so that's $15. But like the hyper competitive players, they also like to, because they're already spending, when you're already spending like $1,000 to $2,000 on a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, you would like it to look nice, and it does feel cool playing really nice looking cards. I went too far back. I forgot. I was just looking at hand traps anyway. So you might. The reason I'm saying that isn't to put Yu-Gi-Oh players in a specific box, but it's just to say that, like, just because it's $250, just because you would be trying to sell it for $250 doesn't mean you won't be able to sell it. I do think that a lot of players do want ultimate rare Effect Veilers. I mean, we see the exact same thing with Nibiru, right? Like, there's a reason these cards are as expensive as they are, and now is the best time, in my opinion, to buy these, because these cards are all pretty good against the best decks. This one's not like Effect Veiler where it's all over the place. This one seems like it has a pretty solid market price of $170. So this one might be a little bit different to get it, but it could be, an investment of like, we buy 3 at $168. I'm not really great at math there, but I'm trying to clear out my cart anyway. We're not really, so we're looking at $504 for a playset of Ulti Nibs, right? And then you sell them for $6, right? That's when you're in a situation where you just made $200. No, $100. Had to do the math there for a second. $100, and you can take that, buy a box of Amazing Defenders. I forgot, I mentioned this actually on the Penny Stock Market Watch. I did want to re-mention it in case you guys missed that video. And if you guys do, miss a video, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can get the newest updates. But it is the 8th best-selling product in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And as far as boxes are concerned, it's technically speaking the number 2 biggest like booster box. And obviously, the 25th anniversary edition boxes are expensive, but like the Amazing Defenders box, if the Rescue A stuff ends up being really, really good, this could be a really good buy, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you go and you get the nibs for hundreds of dollars, you flip them for $250. Now, keep in mind, when you start to sell stuff that's that expensive, you do have to be a lot more careful. Like, for me, I'm a seller on TCG Player. I usually send stuff in an envelope, don't put shipping, stamp it, send it out. I got 100% positive feedback. It's whatever. But when you start to sell those higher end stuff, you don't have to like put it in a bulletproof case, but like just to maybe put the tape over the little thing, put it inside a sleeve, inside another sleeve. Put it in some tape. Put it in a nice bubble wrap package so it won't get hurt in transit, because that's a really easy way to mess up your sales. If you buy a Nibiru, let's say you do that example, you buy Nibirus at $170, you sell them for $170, so we're looking at $500 total. You sell them for 200, so 600 total. You make 100, and then you buy this box for that extra 100, and then you pocket the rest. And the person's like, I want a refund because the cards are terrible, right? So it's just something to just keep in mind. Like you don't want to. Those they are more likely if you sell those high expensive cards, people are more likely to say something if it's messed up, right? But getting back to just a quick side tangent on Amazing Defenders, I think it's a really good buy right now. I could very easily see this being $70, $72 soon, and there's just so much value in this too. And it could be a situation where you just buy the box and wait to see what's gonna happen with Rescue Ace and Pearly. If Pearly ends up being like the best deck in the format, Amazing Defenders is going to be a relatively expensive booster box. And if Rescue Ace support ends up being really, really good, I think some of it's been announced. I don't remember though off the top of my head. I know that it's coming, but I don't exactly remember what it is. And the Makonko stuff in here is pretty good too. Like Makonko could get new stuff too. Like I know Makonko is like, is it brand with, what is Makonko in right now? Is it Tritron? I don't remember. I don't remember where Makonko's at right now, but Makonko Labyrinth. Makonko could get some stuff where Makonko ends up being a really good deck too. So I think Amazing Defenders is a really good buy right now. And the reason I brought it up, as we go back over to the hand traps, was because you could get your these ultimates, OTs. You get your OT imperms, right? And we're just going to do this. There's 13 on the market. Goodness gracious. It is still 2 pages. Okay, cool. Italian, French. I will say you can, like, the just because they're in a foreign language doesn't mean it's terrible. Like, the German version you can play because it's a TCG version. But if you're going to play it, like, if you're just looking for a cheap, $185 for a cheap ultimate rare version of Infinite Permanence, there you go. But if you're looking to sell it, I would stick to English. If you're looking to buy it and flip it, I would stick to English. I'm having a tough time. I'm gonna refresh the page. I can't scroll up or down. There it goes. When we look at this though, so the cheapest English version is $226, right? We could get this for $250. That's $750. So shout out to that. But then flip it for $3. And I bet you there's probably some crazy numbers back here. This is $300, $350. But we flip them for $3, and that's $150 extra dollars. We take 64, 70 of that 150. Get an Amazing Defenders box. That was the main reason I tangented. But you could also do something of like going back, we spend $250 on 3. That is $750 total. And then if it shoots up to $400, for example, right? We sell 2 for $400 a piece, so we make profit, and then we put the last one at like $600, right? So you can do stuff like that as well. The main reason I started penny stock market watches, a little bit about myself. The main reason I started penny stock market watches was because I felt like House of Champs and MCO40 spent too much time on these type, and I know like other people do it, like the DB Grinder does it, Master Swag King does it. For sure, I know Master Swag King does it. And the reason why we're focusing more on hand traps is because they're really good right now. Like the best decks, 1, get hurt hard by hand traps, and 2, they don't really need to run a lot. A lot of the duels I've seen with both Purely and Super Heavy Samurai, it's 2 to 3 archetype specific cards, and then the rest are hand traps. So I think hand traps are a fantastic buy. If you want, you can go down in that penny stock market, because I think all of these cards that I've mentioned today are also penny stocks, not infinite permanents. Not infinite permanents. But, I believe Nibiru was the first card we talked about. I went too far back. But like Nibiru, Effect Veiler, Ash are all penny stocks. You can definitely do some interesting manipulations there. But usually like I said, players that play the top end, high end, most expensive decks, they don't really care as much about spending a little bit extra cash to make their cards look a little bit better, right? And it doesn't do anything obviously different, but it's just something to swag on. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, I can afford this and you can't. But like I always say, and I think I already said it once in this video, spend your money on how you feel. If you want to spend $750 on an infinite permanence on off chance it gets to 300 so you can make 150, that's fine. If you think spending $750 on infinite permanence is foolish because it might be $100 and now you lost 450, that's fine too. Like you spend your money how you feel. But let me know what you guys think. What are the best selling cards and products that you were looking for in all Yu-Gi-Oh? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button, show your support for the channel, subscribe. You know the rules, right? But most importantly of all, have a good day.